Everyone, this is Allison Rost, and I am the managing editor of the Mills Quarterly, and I'm really excited to show you some of the changes and upgrades we've made to the quarterly starting with this fall 2024 issue. I've been the managing editor for 6 years now. I started in October of 2018, and we always knew that this was going to be coming down the pike, and I'm so excited to show you where we ended up. So let's start with a little bit of info about the redesign process that we just went through. So it was me, of course, working on it, as well as Nancy Siller-Wilson, who has been the Quarterly's graphic designer for almost 15, 16 years now, as well as Mills alumna Sarah Crum, class of 1994. Sarah is a graphic designer in her own right, does incredible work, and threw her hat in the ring to help us out, and I think the three of us made a really great team. We got to work together in person in Portland, Oregon over the summer, and it was great to help us put the final finishing touches on the fall issue. So we started, like I said, we had an in-person gathering in July 2024 in Portland, but we started just about a year ago with some Zoom meetings where we all brought together, things that we liked about magazines and things we didn't like, and had really great discussions about what we thought worked and what didn't. The keywords that we were keeping in mind throughout the entire process are adjectives that really describe Mills alums themselves. So we have smart, strong, making a difference, critical thinker, creative, compassionate, vibrant, multi-generational. These were our touchstones throughout this entire process. We also wanted to make sure to honor our legacy, the Mills legacy, in book art and letterpress printing. For Sarah Crum, that is a very important part of her Mills experience, and we wanted to honor that as well. And then since Nancy and Sarah live up in Portland, they were able to get together and work on the design aspect of the magazine while I was down here in Oakland taking a look at what could we do content-wise that was different, that you all wanted to see. Thanks to those of you who filled out our reader survey last spring, in spring 2023, because your answers really helped guide us. And one of those questions that I asked was, how interested would you be in seeing the following kinds of content in the quarterly? Now, this might be a little hard to see, especially if my head is popping up in the lower right-hand corner like it is for me. So I'll just quickly explain that the orange color means very interested, the gray color means somewhat interested, and the blue color means not at all interested. And from top to bottom, we have poetry, creative writing, alums, student art, faculty profiles, faculty projects, unique class offerings, student profiles, student projects, vintage Mills photos, games, how-tos, advice, recipes, event recaps, and Mills trivia. And so you'll see throughout this presentation that your answers to these questions definitely can be found in what we ended up with the new quarterly. Another big part of our process was consulting with other magazines. When I started at Mills in 2018, I of course inherited a big collection of magazines that included, the Seven Sisters, many of the Bay Area colleges and universities, but there are a lot of them out there. And in 2019, I was able to go to a conference in New Orleans with a bunch of other editors, and everyone brought their magazines. So I got a chance to see a lot of publications I'd never seen before. I collected examples from public and private institutions, single gender, all gender, 2-year, 4-year, and then college, or from magazines that covered individual colleges within larger universities, as well as the magazines that covered those large universities as well. Over the time since I have been, keeping tabs on these various titles, I've seen a number of them go through redesigns of their own, which has been fascinating, knowing that we were coming up on this project for ourselves. And what I'll say is that what we found through this research is that, you know, there are a lot of college magazines out there that really go for a kind of Time magazine, economist style, really corporate, rigid looking. And we decided that we didn't want to go in that direction. We wanted to do something that was more creative and more artistic, that felt more in line with the Mills legacy. And so that was the kind of ethos that drove us, and we consulted with a lot of literary and artistic magazines out there to see what they do, and we ended up where we ended up. And so I'm excited to show you that in this next animation, or this next slide, I have an animation of pretty much all of the different designs of covers that have been on the Quarterly over its 114 years as an Alumnae publication. So here we go. Maybe. Hold on. Okay, there we go. And that's our new cover for the Fall 2024 magazine, Fall 2024 issue. I'll just add a couple of details here. So the red stripe, and actually in person it looks more orangey than red, but the stripe along the spine of the magazine is there because we are moving from what's called a saddle stitch magazine, where the pages come together in a point and they're staples. Instead, we are going to what's called a perfect binding, so it looks more like a book. And our cover this time has this kind of sandy colored background, and the back cover is white, and so we didn't want there to be a weird kind of border between the two, so we went with this stripe along the spine. We also have an illustration on the cover. That's not something we typically do, and don't worry, we are not going to stop putting photos on the cover. We just really loved this illustration, and especially because this fall issue is themed around food, and we just really liked this one. And then the Mills Quarterly is in a font called Domain. I'll show you some information about the other fonts in a second, but the cover font is called Domain. And for many years, the Mills and Quarterly have been placed side by side, though of course Mills and Quarterly have been stacked in the past. So we decided to go back to that way of designing the cover. So some more basics of our new look, and here's where all that font information comes in. I don't know that many other colleges and universities would go to this length of information, but the Mills alumni community, you all love book art and fonts. So here's some more information. So like I said, Domain Display is our cover font for the Mills Quarterly. We're also going to be using that font in headlines throughout the book. Cala, which is above that, I probably should have put these in different order, so apologies, but Cala is our body text font, so most of the articles will be in that font. Hadriano is an accent font. That one has been around for quite a long time, and it used to be part of the Eucalyptus Press type catalog. That was a fun day. I got to go into the archives and look through the type catalog and came away with some really cool ideas, and Hadriano is what we ended up with. And then we have Woodford Bourne and Sweet Sands as our sans serif fonts, and those are being used in places like our folios, captions, sidebars, that kind of thing. We ended up liking them both, couldn't make a decision, so we're going with both. Some more information. So in person, this will be more, if you know, holding the publication makes this more obvious, but the Quarterly is going slightly down in size. So we have been a traditional kind of 8.5 by 11, printer, standard print paper size, but we're going slightly smaller to 10.5 inches by 8 inches. Like I said before, we have perfect binding with a spine and no staples, and Pardon me for this weirdness in the PowerPoint, but we're going up to 48 pages in total because, previously the quarterly had been at about 32 pages, plus 4 pages for a cover. But we're going up because we want to have some more space. We're not assigning more or longer stories necessarily, but we want to have some space for good photography, good illustrations, to tell a story visually as well as with our text. Oh, so something that we are doing that is definite throwback to the early days of the quarterlies. We're adding some campus sketches in. If you go back into very early issues of the quarterly, which by the way has been around as an alum publication since April 1918, you see etchings of various campus buildings, and they're just really cool. And so we're bringing some of those back, but we're also bringing in some new ones. So you'll see, and actually you'll see later in this presentation, there we have a new one of Mills Hall and we have a new one of the Reinhardt Alumni House. And then we've also done something where we're doing certain colors in certain sections on the pages. So it's, kind of like a guidepost, to show you where you are. The AAMC pages are blue. The class note section is, I was about to say purple, but I think it's actually a yellow with some purple accents. And in memoriam is green. So I'm going to start showing you some of our new departments. So first thing we have here is on the oval. You know it as its previous iteration is Mills Matters. We're changing the name to fit with what the new section was called in the very early issues of the quarterly. We're still going to cover the same information and the same campus happenings that we always have, information about Mills College at Northeastern, the Mills Institute, the Oakland campus in general. That will still be in that same section, as well as a calendar section. And that includes our new sketch of Mills Hall that you can see there. Next, we have Over the Wires and Media Labs. So these are actually in different parts of the magazine entirely, but they're very much related. So previously we had Campus Kudos and Bookshelf, and Campus Kudos covered honors and press mentions for faculty and staff, and Bookshelf covered literary releases from Mills alums. Well, we kind of broke them down and reorganized them and came up with Over the Wires and Media Lab. So Over the Wires is still about honors and press mentions, but it will cover both faculty and staff at Mills on the Oakland campus as well as Mills alums. And then same thing for Media Lab in the back of the magazine. It had been called Bookshelf, and we are expanding it now so that it won't just cover literary releases. It will cover musical, artistic, anything you can imagine. And it will cover that same group of people, not just alums and not just faculty and staff. Next we have photos, which seems perhaps silly to call out in its own special slide, but one of the things that you probably saw it on the previous slide, but you all want to see more photos, especially of campus as it looks now, and then vintage photos, archive photos. So what we're doing is on the inside front cover and on the inside back cover, we're going to have two related images that have been taken recently on campus. What we're thinking is that the one at the front will be kind of a big picture photo, and then the one on the inside back cover will be more detailed, but they'll be related and it'll be like they're hugging the contents of the magazine together. And then we have this page, it's called From the Archives. An image taken from the Mills archives with the help of our wonderful librarians, and that will be on the page that separates class notes and the AAMC section. A Slice of Quarterly History is a new department that we are placing up front in the on the oval section. So, the quarterly's been around for 114 years. That's a lot of stories, and there's a lot of really great information in our back catalog. So in each issue, we're going to reprint something that has been in the quarterly in the past. As in this first iteration, it's a little too long to put on one page, so the rest of it will be available on our website at quarterly.mills.edu. Throwback. You might have seen the first hint of this in our summer issue in our story about Faculty Village. We included a prompt at the end of that story inviting alums particularly, to write in or call in with their memories of Faculty Village. And so a lot of you sent in your memories, and thank you so much. And so we have published them on this spread here, and we're hoping to make this into a regular feature in the quarterly. And at the end of every of each issue on the throwback pages, we'll have a prompt for the next time, so people can answer the next set of questions. Catching up with. Now, this is a new column or new department that came directly from the reader survey. I heard from several alums who suggested, hey, you know, I still keep up with the people who I ran cross country with. I still keep up with the people who were in my living learning community. Would it be interesting to kind of revisit that group of people and see what they've done now? And so that's what we're doing. And this first version is a group of women who lived together in Warren Olney in 1961. Salon. So obviously, there are a great many Mills alums who do amazing things artistically. And so what we're going to do is, in every other issue, we're going to have writing. We're going to alternate between visual art and writing. And this first one is a poem that I found in The Womanist in the fall 2022 issue. This section is open to submissions, so if you have anything that you'd like to submit for consideration, please send it in to mills.quarterly@northeastern.edu. I'll include that email at the end of this presentation as well, in case you didn't catch it. I just want to show you a quick look at what a feature is looking like. So I mentioned that we're going up in page count, and we're doing that so we have more space for images. And we have some really beautiful images in this first redesigned issue. Romney Steele co-owns and co-operates a restaurant in Uptown Oakland. So we sent a photographer out there and got these beautiful images, and we have lots of space to show them off now. The AAMC News and Notes section. So the big change that we've made here, in addition to having this blue background, is previously the AAMC has had a spread in the center of the magazine, so 2 pages in the center and then 1 page on the inside back cover. What we've done is we've put all 3 of those pages together contiguously in the middle of the magazine, which we're hoping will give the AAMC more flexibility in writing longer stories and just to have more space to play with, or more flexible space to play with, I should say. And here's our class notes section. This is where that other new sketch is showing up. That's the Reinhardt Alumni House. We do not publish class notes online, so I put a bit of a blur on the actual contents, but you can see that it looks very similar, just with these fun accents with Hadriano on the class year and the purple and these fun doodads down. Yeah, we're really excited, and hope that you like it. We know that class notes are very popular. Relatedly, so another thing that I heard on the reader survey is this quote right here. I wish more alums would write in with updates. I also asked if anyone had submitted a class note within the past 5 years. 74% of respondents said no. 20% of respondents said yes, thank you, to those of you that applies to, and 6% weren't sure. I get that, it happens. So I just wanted to, bring that up to show the kind of disconnect that we have here. People love reading their classmates' updates in the quarterly, but they also don't send them in themselves. So we gotta find a way to bridge that gap there. And I just want to read this quote. You can also read it yourself, but I'll read it myself as well. This came from the April 1918 edition of the Quarterly, the first magazine that was published for the alums. At last, the alumni have a quarterly of their own. They have longed for one, have hoped for one, have made shift for one by sharing in the various campus journals, but now they have actually ventured to publish a magazine of their own. If 100% of the alumni lend their loyal support to the Quarterly, its usefulness cannot be reckoned. Of course, they will not be satisfied merely to subscribe. They will send material, news of individual alumni, classes and branches, and articles of special or general interest to all of us. The greater the number of such contributions, the more worthwhile the undertaking, the more far-reaching its influence. So I wanted to leave this presentation on that note. Not only do we have class notes in every issue, but we have a number of new columns and departments that depend upon the participation of our readers. So I just want to encourage you, especially when this new redesign lands on your doorstep, take a look, see if there's something that you might want to submit for our salon section, or check and see what the prompt is in our throwback section. If you were part of a group at Mills that you would love to reconnect with, or if you're already connected with them, if you've remained connected with them and want to brag about the cool stuff that you have been doing since you graduated, send in an email about our Catching Up With column. There are lots of opportunities for alums to hear their stories, see their words in the Quarterly. And yeah, I just want to emphasize that we have a really great opportunity here. Our Boston colleagues think what we're doing is great, and we have a lot of support. And let's keep it going. Let's keep the Quarterly going for as long as we possibly can. We have a So thank you for watching this. I really appreciate it. And if you have anything you'd like to add, any comments on the redesign, please send them my way. Here's my email address, mills.quarterly@northeastern.edu. Thank you so much.